it's just something that I think about as soon as I wake up, and I think about it as soon as I go to bed, and I often dream about it, and it's just on my mind all the time. It's everything I do and eat and sleep. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina originally. I was born in High Point, and I grew up in Carolina Beach. And then, spent a lot of time in Wilmington. But I eventually kind of like bounced my way across the state. I went to school in Greensboro for a couple years. And then I moved to Asheville, where I have family. My grandparents have always lived out in Asheville, so I would come out for the summers and holidays and stuff. And just kind of fell in love with the mountains and rivers. And so I've been out here in Western North Carolina since 2008. I just remember seeing other students in class with me doing some of the things that I did today when we filmed. And I was just so intrigued and just so amazed. And I was like, I have to do that. I'm going to do that. So I did. And then that just kind of really spiraled out of control with like everything that I'm doing now, just from that one class that I took. I started teaching aerial arts probably about a year after I started taking classes. And I was approached by the studio that I was working at the time, but I probably hadn't given it much thought before then. So it's not like something that I had aspired to do at that point. I just enjoyed doing aerials for myself. But I started teaching kids classes in like 2011, and I really enjoyed it. So that's when I kind of branched out to like beginner adult classes, and then branched all across different apparatuses and different age levels and groups and stuff. I hope that they feel incredible about themselves. I hope that it inspires them to like be good people in the world, and I hope that it inspires them to find other means of fitness outside of my studio. I hope that that it just helps make them feel better about themselves as individuals, I guess is my main goal with opening the studio. Asheville's a great fit for my studio. Because I think people in Asheville are kind of open to things that are off the normal beaten path. Like, we're not a typical CrossFit gym, which would probably go over well in any town. But I think like you have to be a little weird to enjoy aerial and pole arts in ways, and kind of like be accepting of it. You have to be a little open-minded. So Asheville's kind of, I think, overall a very open-minded little liberal bubble that we live in out in Western North Carolina. So with that in mind, it fits in very well. People don't bat an eye when they hear pole dancing classes. We had a lot of ideas for what we wanted to offer as far as classes go that weren't already offered here, particularly with pole arts, because there were no pole studios anywhere in the area when we opened ours. So I think like wanting to have the kind of classes that we wanted to offer here in town and not have to move away to seek them out was kind of our main drive. Was that we wanted to stay here in Asheville, but we wanted more out of what we were getting from like our day-to-day aerial and pole life. So we opened up our own space, and now we do whatever we want. It's worth it because I get to make my own schedule. I get to do what I love, which is like the best thing in the world. And it also inspires and just makes like better people. Like when you come in the studio and then you leave, you're just automatically a better person, because the studio is just such a lovely space. And it's not just because of me, it's because of my staff, my students. I have a co-owner, Heather Poole. She's amazing. She's the best studio wife I could ever imagine. So I couldn't do it without her. Yeah. The kind of business would determine what kind of advice I would give them. I would say think really long and hard, make sure that's what you want to do. Make sure you have a lot of support. Accept help when people want to give it to you. Yeah, and just do it. Go for it. I support it.